Well, hello there again, everyone. This is a re-upload of my Saints Row review as something went wrong with YouTube processing the first one to Full HD. It kind of seems stuck at 360p. It seems that the quality of the game affected the quality of my video as well, so please enjoy the reboot of my first review of the reboot of Saints Row. Sorry for being late with the review, but as I had to wait for the game to release and then actually play it, well, it took a while. Do you remember the openings in Saints Row 3 or Saints Row 4? They were epic, over-the-top action scenes, right? They also included some references to popular movies such as Star Wars or Armageddon, with plenty of jokes to go around all day with game and movie references. Now let's take a look at Saints Row the Reboot. On a quick side note here, what made my game experience much more enjoyable was pretending that this cat was the same cat from Stray.
The Saints are here to stay, baby! So, if you know how to shoot a gun or if you're broke and want to learn how, swing by the church. We'll be waiting for you.
Hey, guys!
Why?
Not that impressive, huh? So let's see, is this new Saints Row a good game, or a great game, or none of the above? Let's dive in and see. The good. Some scenes do look beautiful, like in the car chase mission where the sun rays just shine towards you. It makes for a beautiful scene. Most of the sunsets within the game just look magical. There is a nice character creator present, as well as vehicle customization options, which was to be expected in a Saints Row game. The city does look nice, looks better than Stillwater anyway, and it's just sad that it's wasted on this game. And unfortunately that's it for the good category. Now we go to the bad. And actually, the bad and the ugly are very similar here, so pay the categories no mind. The gunplay is simply abysmal. Aiming can be all over the place, and aim assist doesn't assist. It does the exact opposite. Then again, the gunplay in Saints Row games never really felt right, but I would have expected there to be some improvement after 9 whole years. Actually, the gunplay is somehow worse, in my opinion, and this is probably because I've seen sponges soak up less liquid than these enemies soaked up damage. I had to lower the enemy toughness just to feel like the weapons had some use. It requires 2 headshots for a kill. Unless the enemy is a heavy unit, then it takes far more. Cars all handle similarly, like bricks. The story seems very dull and subdued when compared to Saints Row 3 and especially Saints Row 4, which as we know is just over the highest of tops. Aside from certain parts towards the end where the story had me kinda hooked, I barely made it through the game. I wanted to quit more than I wanted to be happy. If someone offered me a choice to play this game for an hour and be happy forever, or not to play the game and be miserable, I'd really have to give it a good hard think. That's how boring it got at some points. After completing a mission, you are spawned outside or on top of your car. The police chases use more rubber banding than all the people on the planet when tying their hair. I'd smash an enemy vehicle into a wall only to see it respawn behind me on the minimap. These are some really outdated techniques to hide what the game lacks technically, such as a thinking AI. Still, it has better chases than Cyberpunk, which is something, although I actually had fun in Cyberpunk despite its own sets of problems. The AI in the game is practically non-existent. For example, if you climb on a car, melee enemies won't know what to do with you. As you can see in the video, they just stand there as if you've put on Harry Potter's cloak of invisibility, as if they think to themselves, "Where did it go?" Then you come down and they're like, just, wow, is the AI bad. The police or martial troops don't react unless you attack them directly. As you can see here, attacking a civilian and nothing. Also, the auto-aim is just annoying, because here I was trying my best to attack a civilian in order to demonstrate that the police won't react, and instead the auto-aim just moved me towards the first cop it could find. Instead of being the overzealous mercenaries just looking for an excuse to beat the hell out of someone, the martial troops are like, none of my business. And now we come to the ugly, which as I said is pretty much the same as the bad, because let's face it, most of this is ugly. There are so many bugs with cars and NPCs, particularly ones where neither is spawning. For example, I was driving around town and suddenly I realized that I was the only one on the street. Not just the only driver, but the only person. For a second there, I thought it was Kevin McAllister from Home Alone when he thought his wish to be alone came true. Once I reloaded the save, the problem was fixed. NPCs disappear immediately after giving you a quest or upon you completing one. Now I know how melee enemies feel when I climb a car. While doing a quest with an NPC, I also didn't have to worry about them getting into a car, as they could all use instant transmission and pop right into a seat. There was stuttering at certain points, though it wasn't consistent. NPCs would jiggle about for no reason whatsoever, just suddenly start shaking like they were having a seizure or something. The whole game actually made a huge breakthrough in physics, or broke physics. It's one of those two. A small stone is enough to tip your car and send it flying through the air. Some cars explode when you sneeze at them. Yet once I had a bug where I needed to destroy police vans, and the van that needed to be destroyed just went full invincible. I guess there are cheat codes in the game, just not for us, but for the game. Enemies, when shot in the head, do a backflip, because apparently that's what happens when a high-velocity projectile goes through your skull. Another time I got out of my car, immediately fell through the floor and started skydiving into the abyss the game must have crawled out of. After some time falling into a dark void, which is what playing the game feels like, I was respawned some distance away from where I was supposed to be. Honestly, if it weren't for the bugs, the game would have been far less entertaining. It's like a trash horror movie, which is good because I happen to like to watch them. Thanks to the bugs, the game is so bad that it's sometimes actually good. Considering what the Saints Row franchise was, though, this is truly a sad review for me. And in conclusion, I have to say that sadly the game is what I thought it would be when I saw the trailer, except it's even worse. Even if there were no bugs, it would still be 5 steps back in the wrong direction. I loved Saints Row 3, and despite its reuse of the same city, I loved Saints Row 4 even more. I loved the goofiness of the games and the absurdity of the story. It was like watching a good parody movie. I also loved the references to popular sci-fi movies. It's a shame that this title lacks the same soul that was present in its predecessors. It struggles with its own identity. It tries to be more grounded in reality, yet you have guns that change status effects on reload and some futuristic weaponry, as well as some goofy weapons, like the boxing glove guns. It has absurd outfits, yet the main story tries to take itself more seriously than the previous games did. Now, I didn't and still don't expect for the Saints Row series to be a rival for the GTA series. I feel they're trying to do different things. I liked Saints Row because it always brought its own spin on the open world criminal genre, but there were no improvements made to the game since the last entry in 2013. It actually feels like a prequel to Saints Row 3, because the AI is actually dumber in the new Saints Row than it was in Saints Row 3 or 4. And that's just one example. I am very sad to say that this game is, at best, a 5,000 out of 10. It's amazing how poorly it was done. Now, Volition, I know you guys can do far better because I've seen it in your previous titles. Now please go back to the drawing board and do so. So, what are your impressions, guys? Did you like the game? Hate it? Laugh at it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I look forward to reading them. And now, since I mentioned sharing and liking, please do what it says on the screen. And I'll see you in the next one, Enlightened Ones.